thoughts on what you saw tonight, and how's this going to carry over into when you're back at it again after this break?
Right. Well, I thought we had a good focus other night against Butler. Obviously, when you play that quick turnaround, you have one day to practice. You're getting ready to go on break. Sometimes things can get a little sticky. I thought our guys were good. I thought we missed some shots against that 1-3-1 that were pretty good shots. We really could have pushed the lead at that time. I thought, I think this was their best shooting game. Incarnate Word, they really stretched us out, and our closeouts worked great from the guards, and they picked on us a little bit with our size and tried to drag us out a little bit. But I thought we did some good things. Obviously, rebounding the basketball, we did a good job rebounding the basketball. We had the same amount of turnovers, 11 as Incarnate Word had. But I thought we did a good job. When you sub kind of back and forth, sometimes I did it, in the masses, and sometimes I did it individually. With it, I don't think I had a great rhythm to what I was doing. I was just trying to get a lot of people, a lot of minutes, and try to help along those lines.
Did they run this much zone before tonight? And if so, how important was this experience for your team to actually go against them?
Yeah, it was 1-3-1. I thought our guys did some good things. Obviously, when you have a size advantage, when you go zone, it's going to be a little bit harder to box people out, especially when Zach can anchor down there and Travion can get close to the basket. But we haven't seen a lot of zone. And so I thought that was good, even though it was a little bit unconventional. 1-3-1, you don't see a lot of 1-3-1. You see more matchups or kind of a sliding 2-3, 3-2 type zone. This was a traditional 1-3-1, and but like I said, I thought we did a good job. I don't think you can lose sight on good shots, even though I wish we a couple of them would have went in.
This was what they did before tonight, though, right?
Yeah, they run a 1-3-1.
Okay.
That's what they do. They don't do it a lot, but we worked on it. We knew they would run it at some time during the game. They probably ran it tonight more than they've run it in the past.
Coach, let's talk about Carson. Let's talk about the legacy of Coach Cady. Both of you guys, obviously, legacy of Coach Cady here. Mackey, I mean, what's it mean to you? I mean, bringing the teams in, I know it had to mean a lot to him, but for you, scheduling him in here, a Boilermaker, the crowd was great for him before the game. What's it like, and what's that mean to you, the legacy of Coach Cady?
Well, it's cool. It's really hard, getting ready for your conference season when you have to play guaranteed games. You're going on the road. You're playing high major schools. You're really up against it, but you're trying to improve. You're trying to get better. You're trying to beat the team, period. And now to work towards that and keep your guys confident. They were a little bit shorthanded tonight. I think they had 8, 9 guys in the book. So I thought they played hard. I thought they did a good job. They shot the ball well. And but no, he was, Carson's a really good guy. Carson was a good player here, won a lot of games. And anytime you can have somebody that played basketball at Purdue come back here and play, it's a special moment.
When your guys go on break like this, do you want them to stay away from basketball, or kind of how do you want them to deal with the idle time?
Right. I don't think it's smart to take 4 days and just absolutely do nothing, but you also don't want them to, be playing pickup on the outdoor courts either. So I think, getting somewhere and shoot just depends on who you are. I think each guy normally has a pretty good routine, and when you're someone who works on your game all the time, taking 4 days off, but it's good to kind of decompress and get away from it, kind of recalibrate a little bit. But it's also, keeping that focus and understanding that. It gets really hard, like when you have as many guys as we have and you're as deep as us. I think it's good, but it's also hard because guys, you don't have everybody in your rotation that gets consistent minutes. When that happens, you just don't have the same feel as when you do have consistent minutes. But we'll come back we'll go 26, 27, 28, and then play on the 29. So we'll have 3 good practices before we play again.
I know Incarnate Word made some shots tonight and all that, but have you seen any kind of difference in your team's concentration or whatever from a defensive perspective for the last 2 games, especially Jaden?
I thought we had our concentration was good against Butler in terms of what they were running. We didn't have as much time to kind of drill down on what these guys were doing with just a 1-day prep going Saturday, Monday. But I think our guards have done a good job. Jaden's, made more plays from a defensive standpoint, but his is more of being solid. He's done a better job of being solid. He tries to hit a lot of home runs defensively. And you got to pick your spot. There's got to be blood in the water and then get aggressive. When there's not blood in the water against good players, you get over aggressive, they're going to get you on a back door. They're just going to get you being overzealous on plays. But he's done a much better job with that in time. But I think everybody has. I think our concentration has been better. I don't think we've arrived by any stretch of the imagination, but we're making some improvements there, and that's good. Sometimes how other people play can help you too. It just can. And sometimes other people schematically do things differently. It becomes a little bit harder. And it just depends, with our team, if you stretch us out a little bit and we're bigger, it gets a little harder for us, as you've watched. Now I can flip it and go smaller, and then now we've kind of cured that, but is that the best for us? Some days I believe it is, and some days I believe it isn't. But that's what's cool about having a lot of options.
You've mentioned a bunch of times before that the thing Zach's improved the most is passing.
Yes.
Can you kind of put that into context? How much does that matter for his overall game? It's a guy who draws as much attention as he inevitably is going to draw.
Well, he's got to keep his confidence when he posts up around 5 to 8 feet, because he can make that jump hook. He's gotten away from that, and layups and dunks are good. Don't get me wrong, but he dribbled one time in the first half and lost it when he should have just shot a 5-6 foot jump hook. But when they swarmed him and they had 2-3 people around him, he got Mason a couple dives. He got Mason that 3 on an overload play, which was good. So just having that sense of what's going on, how they handle him, whether they double him, whether they triple him, and just kind of slowing down. We spend a lot of time with those guys and working with him and Travion on their passing and what they're doing. Travion's different because Travion sees everything. Sometimes Travion's seeing everything and he's got a 5-foot jump hook, and he'll pass that up for a 3, where he's going to make that 80 to 90% of the time. Right. So Travion sometimes is a little bit too unselfish. But Zach's, like he said in his last interview after Butler, he's learned to keep things simple. Those passes he made were simple passes, but they were the right passes too. So you need anything? You good?
Oh yeah, I actually have a question.
Go ahead.
So I was talking to Coach Cunningham about just the building programs, and he said he considers yourself and Coach Katie as mentors in a way, and the way that you guys build your program and the standard that you guys have. Just what does he mean? What goes into building a program, and just what's it like to see other Purdue players having success as head coaches?
Right. Well, the blueprint of what we do is from Coach Katie, and so I worked for him, and I worked for Bruce Weber at Southern Illinois, and so from a scheduling standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, those are the two most important things. Your product is your players, and then you got to know from a scheduling standpoint what you're doing, and who you're playing compared to really, your personnel, and kind of work towards that. But having a good program, means really kind of your teams play well together. You have a great academic structure, so it helps guys not just get a degree, but get an education and help them in using your scholarship and this opportunity to not just have a great basketball career, but use this as an opportunity to have a great life and use contacts. Just don't leave here with a piece of paper. And I think that's what Coach Katie really instilled in us. But it all kind of starts with the adversity of what goes on. People think it's easy. It's not easy. I got guys on our team that started before that aren't starting now, and that's hard. Now we got, like I said, we got 10 starters, but I think we got good teammates. I think we got guys that pull for each other, and we got to make sacrifices for the betterment of the team. And it really just starts, with Coach Katie and his blueprint of doing the right things, going to class, being on time. And so when I got to college, he said he had 3 rules. Be on time, try your best, and act right. If you kind of think about how life is and how these opportunities, if you just kind of follow that. Now, when I was 19, I thought that was stupid. You realize it's not stupid. It's very simple and it's very smart. Because the team that normally gets beat, they normally beat themselves. And when individuals struggle or they have problems off the court, they normally do themselves in. But if you can stay with a good group of guys and recruit them, and you can help each other, and now when you face some adversity, you can really grow. And that's, any team can have a good season, but if you can consistently do it and do it the right way, and get your degree. You know, that's what a good program's all about. So it's nice that he says that about me, but it's really, it's all comes from Coach Cady and what he did here for 25 years.
Anything else?